You can take your attendance. Okay. How come nobody is shooting your attendance? How come?
Is that got server issue.
Oh, got server issue.
The server is currently facing issues. Try again later. I try to restart.
Okay, let me try to set here. Who is here? Anisha is here, right?
Yeah, Anisha here.
Okay, Anisha is here, and then Edry, he says he is away in the kampong, so I'll set his attendance also. Clarence, are you here, Clarence? Yeah, Clarence is here. I saw him. Albert, you here, Albert?
Yeah, doctor. Morning.
Morning. And Zainuddin, are you here, Zainuddin?
Dr. Ting, Nitya here.
Who?
Nitya.
Oh, Nitya. Okay, here. Okay, right.
Yeah, I cannot register.
Okay, and then what about Adria and Zainuddin? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
IP Robert. Who's IP Robert? Who is that?
That's me, Nitya here.
Oh, Nitya. Okay. Done already. What about
Yes.
Adria?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can. Okay, I'll set your attendance, Okay. And then Zainuddin, are you here, Zainuddin? Nitya, can you off your mic?
Sorry, doctor?
Zainuddin, are you here, Zainuddin? Yeah, off your mic, Nitya.
Oh, okay.
Zainuddin, are you here, Zainuddin? Okay, never mind. I will call for this. Okay, just a quick one. I know some of you are rushing for your Christmas lunch and all that. Yeah, it is a very bad time for classes lah. Yeah. Okay. What I'm gonna do after this is to post up recording. Okay, recording. There is about 4 recordings for procurement strategies and 4 recordings for contract type. So a total of 80 minutes, okay? And you just have to remember the flow of the lecture is like this. I gave you an original set of notes, which is in the Word file. It's a very long set of notes of 30 over pages or 40 pages. That set of notes is basically an overview, the whole entire framework of procurement management. And in procurement management, you have what we call the requirement cycle, followed by the requisition cycle, followed by the solicitation cycle and the award cycle, and also the final is the contract administration. Requirement cycle, you listen to last week's lecture recording. Requirement cycle, I explained in such a long detail about how you really should know what your project is all about, okay, before the requisition cycle. The requisition cycle is what I put up today, okay. Procurement strategy, when you call for requisition, means that you already know that the procurement, is made in-house or call for external help, in that sense, call for external services, call for the external service provider to come in to help with the delivering of the project. So those when you call for that, you are calling for requisition. So today's recording will start from requisition cycle. And part of the requisition cycle is to determine the procurement strategy. There are many strategies, the very traditional one to the non-traditional one to what I call the new age one. The traditional one is the traditional general contracting, which I explained in recording 2. And then the non-traditional one is the one that I explained in recording 2 and 3 and 4 as well. And for the new age one, like partnering, like strategic alliancing, and all that, I need you all to read through your notes. There is very detailed explanation on those items over there in the notes, okay? So I didn't really do a lot of recording on that. It's just a little bit on recording 4 at the end. So basically, these are all the available strategy in the industry at the moment, which Malaysia at the moment use the most traditional one and the non-traditional one. The new age one, yes, we are getting more and more with things like public-private financing, you know. These are also considered as starting to be a non-traditional one, which we put under concessional contract or book, you know, public-private financing. Those are actually book kind of project, concessional kind of project, which I already explained in a non-traditional one. So there are other things like partnering, joint venture, strategic alliancing. These are usually either private client with a private supplier, private client with a private contractor, or with a private service provider, government-linked company. You know, we use that sort of procurement strategies, okay? So you have to understand your procurement strategies, okay? And then because from the requirement cycle, you know your characteristic of the project, and then what kind of procurement strategy actually suits it better, okay? Then after that, we move on to the different contract type. There are different type like fixed price, which is we call lump sum. And under lump sum, there are many different type of contracting method strategies, okay? And then under reimbursable, we have the remeasurement and the cost plus contract. And incentive, we have the GMP, you know, combination of incentive with cost plus. So these are all explained in contract type 1, 2, 3, 4, the recording, okay? And you have to, this is all part of the requisition cycle, okay? So in the requisition cycle, you got to get ready this documentation first. So in the requisition cycles, when we say get ready the documentation, prepare, when we say prepare in the solicitation cycle, is this requisition cycle when you actually prepare for all this legal and technical documentation, okay? So your procurement team, or you are part of the procurement team, you've got to prepare this set of documents first, okay? Then after that you are moving into what we call a solicitation cycle. In the solicitation cycle is part 4 of your notes. We call it tender procurement, part 4 tender. And in the solicitation cycle, I explained there are many types of tendering method, or what we call what we call how do you say bidding or tendering or quotation. This is solicitation method. This is about getting going out and get the right people to come and work for you, to establish that formal relationship of offer and acceptance. Yeah? We're moving into the contractual relationship. So in the solicitation cycle, last week I've already explained what are different types of tendering. And then from the different type of tendering is just basically the beginning part, how you call people to come. Then the next part, whether you choose open tender, whether you choose selective tendering, you choose selective with pre-qualification or open with pre-qualification, or you choose negotiated tendering, or you know, whether you're going for serial tendering, if your contract is actually an operation maintenance kind of contract. But if it's a creating of a new product, normally we'll go for the first 3, you see. So in this first 3 method, the big is almost the same, meaning that after you call for people to come, then you've got to prepare what we call, in the notes, there is a chart that go for stages and the process of solicitation, the solicitation cycle. So we go from preparation to the approval to tender, meaning that your solicitation now starts because your document, your legal technical documents are prepared already. And then now, yes, we are going to call, we're going to call. So to get that calling, you've got to get approval from your board of tender, from your management to go for approval to tender. Then after that, you are going to go for the documentation stage. And this is the stage that in your assignment, I'm getting you to prepare, you see. You're preparing all the necessary documents, including BQ, including summary of tender, including part of the forms or the requirements, the tendering requirement and the tendering processes that you want your tenderer to follow later on, like what time to what time to submit a tender, in what form to submit tender, where to submit the tender, when is the tender closing date, what are the document fees and all that. These are all listed in the notes. So in that cycle, in that solicitation cycle, in your assignment, okay, you are concentrating on that documentation to the requirement, to the documentation, to the process, to the final award. So that cycle is what you are concentrating on, okay? And I received an assignment this morning and to show me what they have done, you see. And I wouldn't say who gave me the assignment, but you know who, okay? The first half of the assignment is theory. Yes, I did call for some theory. So, when you write theory, you have to do referencing. According to so and so, according to who and who, by giving me 20 pages or 30 pages of theory, it's not going to get you much marks, ladies and gentlemen. The main thing is you have your background of the project, and then if you explain theory in terms of procurement management, what is procurement management with all the different procurement strategies. You mentioned procurement strategies, what type of procurement strategies with tendering, with contract type and with tendering method. If you cover this in like 5 or 6 pages of theory, then this is actually like an intro. This is like an entree. You go to a restaurant, you eat the cold dish. And this cold dish is just to tell you that I'm moving in, my project with the above requirement. You need to give me your project background. And the main thing here is the project requirement, Talk about that project requirement more than the theory. The theory is just to say that this is the project requirement. Give me a good requirement cycle. Go through that and tell me what are the characteristics of the project, what is the project environment, what are the project constraints. We give in the first part of the notes as the guidance, okay? If you later on, if you go to ELIC, the first part of the notes is about that. Like I've already posted that. So tell me what is your project all about, followed by some theory on procurement management and the different components of procurement management, and explain a little bit on, let's say, design and build. Maybe your project is going to be on design and build. So you explain design and build for me, and then that you're going to match it because of the characteristics of the project and the advantages the design and build will have, okay? You choose design and build and to use it together with contracting methods such as reimbursable or remeasurement, for example. And because remeasurement has this sort of advantages and the combination will suit that particular requirement. You just give me that. It's really good enough, and then in between you insert some theory. That is actually fantastic already. And then you follow by tendering, you see? And then tendering, okay, now with my design and build procurement strategy, with my remeasurement contract method, our group has selected, we don't write like that, but basically you will say that, selective tendering was selected, or you want to go for negotiated tendering because that is a very specific method. And then when you go for negotiated tendering, what kind of documents you have to prepare, and then these are the attached documents like BQ specifications. You don't have to give me the entire specification or the quality manual or anything like that. You just have to list down what are the documents that will be prepared, what are the documentation that are prepared, and give me some ideas what those documentation will have, and then including the BQ, which I actually get you to borrow from your assignment and put it in. And then, these are the schedule, the work schedule. So you take it and bring it in. And these are the documentation that you're preparing, the drawings, the specifications, the requirement, the VQs, the schedule, the summary of tender. Summary of tender is basically a page that tells you, for this level 1 of work, how much, for level 2 of work, how much, for level 3 of work, how much, and then what are the total, what are the work that they are proposing and how much it is, and then then some of the requirements such as, are you going to get them to give you catalog, are you going to get them to give proposal, it depends on what kind of method that you're going to go for. So then you are your assignment is focused on that stage, documentation, all the way to the processes of tendering, to the tender evaluation. So you set up criteria for tender evaluation. So this part will be the core part. This part will be the 60-70%, of your mark. See, tender evaluation will definitely take up a big portion as well. You'll be taking up, like 20% of the 70% kind of thing. And then the rest is conclusion, formatting, background, theory, the project background, the requirement cycle, and all that. Okay, so that will be how you should flow your assignment. Okay, don't just come in and say that, oh, I want to fill out the pages. I give you like 20 pages of theory without any referencing at all, you see. And then the funny thing is, when you give me theory like that, it doesn't even suit the way that you are writing are not even following the notes flow as well. It's like they explain tendering first, and then they explain contract type, then they explain procurement strategy, so terbalik kind of thing, So that means you don't even understand the whole procurement management, the different part of the strategies, that is involved, you see. So you've got to give me that framework if you want to. If you don't want to, you can jump straight into talking about tendering. I am fine with that as well, as long as, these are sub-projects, we cannot say that there's a fixed method, like ABC, you have to follow this. Yes, we give you a guideline, you've got to improvise, and especially all of you are from different industries. I will get assignment from different industry, and then your approach may be very different, so maybe you don't need to talk too much about procurement strategy. So you don't have to talk too much about procurement strategies, you see. So then you want to go straight to tendering, but there must be a flow on how you want to bring in from your project background, your project requirement cycle into tendering. I think that's fine as well. I already cut out contract model, so at first I want you to put in the contracting model as well, but I didn't say that I need it now. But if you want to talk about the overall framework first before you move into talking about tendering, that is really good as well. That is one method, that is one approach, that is one flow that you can do as well. Okay, so that is all I have to say. And then I will also explain that solicitation cycle. I will put up another recording, a 10 minutes recording on that solicitation cycle, on the different stages of those solicitation cycle. And then you have to refer to each part of the notes. Each part of the notes that under documentation, there is at the back there's about 4 or 5 pages on the documentation. So please read through that, It's all there already actually, but we cannot give you like a final sample, you can actually get this from your procurement section if you want, okay? But if you don't have a procurement section, then you have to create your own. And how do you create is basically what is there in the notes to help you, to guide you to actually create some of your own things, you see. So there's nothing wrong with creating your own things, as engineers, most of us are engineers here, you do want to create your own thing, QS, some of you, so you are asked to create things for your own project. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's no such thing as what you create is wrong kind of thing, as long as the background theory is about right, okay? All right, so Zain, are you here, Zain? I thought I saw him just now. Are you here, Zain? I think he's here, kind of here. Okay. Right. If there's no questions, and okay, he's here. Okay, right. So QR is done. And anything anybody wants to ask me? So I hope this explanation today that I've given you here is quite clear on the flow of the project that you're going to be talking about and the flow of the lecture. Supposed to be from the overview to the procurement strategies to the contracting strategies to the tendering solicitation method and strategies and processes. Okay, so the flow is supposed to be like that. But last week I did an overview and I gave you notes on tendering and I explained tendering first because that is what you need to do for your assignment. I mean, for your project. So I kind of like swap it earlier. So maybe that's where the confusion comes in. But in the normal circumstances, it should be procurement overview, procurement management, followed by, that is in the requirement cycle, followed by requisition cycle, followed by, in the requisition cycle, we've got the procurement strategy, contracting strategy, and then also then followed by the solicitation and the award. Okay. Yes, I am posting all the recording and all the notes today. The notes, I've already posted the overview one last week. I've posted the tendering one last week. I will post out the procurement strategy and the contracting strategy one this week. Okay. Last week already I will open my e-lib for you. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, you see here, procurement notes 1, okay? You all see, this is the overview. This is the overview, okay? And here, after I've spoken about, overview of the type of procurement strategies, I've got recording up to somewhere here. I mean, today I'm posting a recording that started off with the requisition cycle here, all the way to explain to you traditional and non-traditional procurement strategies. And then this one, I get you to refer to the other set of notes. And that recordings number 2 will start off from this set of the notes, okay? And then we'll talk about other type of partner method. This one here is the new age method, which you can read through and go through by yourself because this is more on the theory of what it is all about. That's all, okay? So then after that, last week I also post out, you see, I put number 3, notes 3. Why? Because this is actually on, wait, should I open this? Sorry, this is supposed to be note 4, number 4. Hey, wait. This is supposed to be number 4. Okay, I will change that later. So this is supposed to be number 4. It's on tendering. So this is, the thing that I was talking about, that cycle is this thing. You have to look at this thing. Plus, there's another one that I was talking about. I actually do another recording for you. Yeah, this one. Okay. So I did another recording, which is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. So basically, you've got to prepare for this 3, 4, 5 stage. Okay. But you can use the initial thing like in the requisition cycle to talk about this, and then getting the approval for tender, and then you talk about your documentation, invitation processing. And each and every one of the cycle here, we have some notes here. You see, stage 1, what is it? Stage 2, what is it? Stage 3, what is it? These are the documents. You see the BQ tender drawings and all that. Stage 3, the documentation. Documentation. So that's why I say I've got 4 or 5 pages on documentation. And then how you invite, you see, this is the part that you've already selected your tendering model, you see. So you talk about that as well. And then how you invite. what sort of notice that you're going to put up, invitation, see? All the notes are here. Tender deposit, and then how you're going to do tender processes, and there's a session on tender evaluation as well. You see, so evaluation also, we've got like 7 or 8 pages on tender evaluation. Okay. And then onboarding. Okay, this is the last stage. So after evaluation, you will award it to a contractor by giving them a letter of intent or letter of award. Okay. So this is the major part of the notes that are required for you to do your assignment. Okay. Right. So this will be part 4 lah, huh? This will be part 4. Let me see. So today, later on, I will post up part 2 and 3, which is procurement strategy and contracting strategy. So this 4 set will be your major notes for your procurement management. One is an overview that is going to give you a framework for how to refer to part 2 and part 3. And then part 4 is more completely on solicitation. There will be part 2, which is completely on procurement strategy, and part 3 that is completely, it's very clean one. I don't mix 2, 3, 4 is one part, one part, one part. Okay, procurement strategy, contracting strategy, and tendering. Right. So are we clear, everybody? So you will get about 9 recording today. 8, 4, 4 plus some explanation on that cycle thing to give you a better idea of what I've spoken about. And of course, this recording, I can put it up as well. So you get like 10 recordings, okay? All right, if that's the case, if there's nothing else, then we will stop here today. And if you have anything, you can just type it in the chat box. Or if you don't have anything else you want to leave, you can go ahead. If not, then yeah, that's it for today. And Merry Christmas, everybody. And I hope that you have a very good year. Just remember, it is tough. I understand that it is tough, and all of you are actually from different backgrounds. I can see that, you all are a bit different from my MANG students, because my MANG students, they are doing very hardcore technical subjects, and because of the training, sometimes I think they are a bit more, they are more susceptible to stresses, I think, in a way. But I can see that your group is a little bit different from, the other group that I have. And I feel like, you all in management could be a little bit, some of you are actually not very good with writing. So maybe that's why you have some difficulties, and some of you are a bit, a bit difficult to make direction. That's how I feel, and quite blur in that sense, So I'm not saying every one of you is like that, but it's just that I feel like, I'm trying to get used to teaching these sort of courses as well, because this is really the first time. I mean, I've taught project management to my MANG students, and the way that I teach it to them, I lecture to them, I give them assignments. Normally, we don't have so much of an issue compared to what I'm seeing here, in this group, or over the understanding of the whole idea. Maybe because, like I say, this group is comprising of a lot of people from different backgrounds, whereby in MANG, civil is mainly civil background. So when we explain certain things, all the civil people just get it, like they are the same vibe. Here, maybe the vibe is a little bit different between people to people. So that's why when we explain, some of you may be like a bit confused because you're not from that particular industry. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of adjustments that we need to make in that way. And I hope I can help as much as possible, especially in the next coming 3 weeks before you hand in the assignment. Please message me or email me. I prefer email because I can reply you better with email. Okay. I really would like to offer my help, for you to look at your assignment. But if you come to me and say that, I have no idea what to do, then I will say that, sorry, then that's too bad, because if you're not going to try and work out on something based on the framework that we've given you through all these classes, then really I can't do anything for you. You are not a primary 1, 2, 3 students whereby I need to hold your hand. you are a master's, masters. This is postgraduate, for goodness sake, you see. So the best is you need to give me something to look at and I can comment whether you need to add more, like this morning when some group members give me something, even though the first 13 page is just wrong, you shouldn't be writing like that, but it is good, you give me, I see it, then I know your problem, you see, and then I can advise you accordingly, so you change accordingly. So there's no point of just sitting here and talking, doctor, I don't know what to do, doctor, I don't know what to do, doctor, I don't know what to do, you see. If you don't know what to do, then I tell you that you don't take in your assignment, no, that's as simple as that, isn't it? I mean, we're all adults here, you've gone through undergraduate studies, yeah? So that should be the way. So you should tell me, you should show me what you have and whether you're right. I mean, I'm not saying that whether it's right or wrong, it's more like how to improve. The other day when Andrea's group showed me, in Victor, I think, and Andrea's group showed me your assignment on, doing the class, that I know that your concept is a bit off already, then we have to pull you back. And I'm pretty sure they will do a good job later on, so it's really about this discussion and going to and fro and try to improve, you see. Okay, so I mean that's how we should do it, so don't hesitate in showing me your work. I'm not going to grade you, I'm not going to give you a grade based on the draft. It's going to be on the final product, and I'm going to forget all about what I've seen during the drafting stage, right? Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, so if not, then I will just off this share recording and go back. Okay, so if that's all, then we will just call it a day. Okay, if you all have any questions that you are not celebrating Christmas, you want to ask me, I'm going to be here for a while. Okay, if not, then bye bye and Merry Christmas. Okay. Clarence, you okay Clarence? You faham you punya problem
Ya, paham doktor, paham. Baru ada idea.
It's okay, it's just that when you do theory also you must do referencing lah, and then but the flow of the way that you write your theory pun salah sudah, so we have to go for the procurement strategy first, followed by the other things lah.
Okay doktor, noted.
Okay, you have a good Christmas. Okay, don't celebrate Christmas. You celebrate first, and then tonight you baru talk about the assignment lah.
Okay doktor.
Bye bye.